Hey guys, in this lecture we are going to prove circular convolution property of DFT. So its statement says that if DFT of x of n is equal to x of k, then DFT of y of n, which is equal to convolution of two time domain sequence x1 of n circle inside n into x2 of n. Okay, this is nothing but n point circular convolution operator. Okay, so also it can be written as star in a circle with mod n. So this and this both are same, so it's called as n point circular convolution operator. So if there is a convolution in circular convolution in time domain, in frequency domain we get y of k because it is y of n, right? So is equal to, it gets multiplied, x1 of k, which is in frequency domain, gets multiplied with x2 of k. If I put it in a sentence, so how do we write it? Circular convolution in time domain is equal to multiplication in frequency domain. We try to prove it. So proof. So let y of k is equal to x1 of k into x2 of k. We'll start with this equation. Okay, y of k is equal to x1 of k multiplied with x2 of k, and y of n is equal to, so what is the IDFT equation of y of n? It is nothing but 1 by n into summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1 y of k into, let me write it, y of k into e power j 2 pi by n into k into n. But what is y of k? Y of k is this, right? So I'll write it here. Y of n is equal to 1 by n summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1. What is y of k? It is x1 of k into x2 of k into e power j 2 pi by n into k into n. Let me define what is x1 of k and x2 of k. So where x1 of k is equal to summation, I'll take it as I, okay, because n I have already used in this equation, so I'll take it as I. I is varying from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of I. Instead of writing n, I am writing it in terms of I, okay. So e power minus j 2 pi by n into k into I. Let me call it as equation 2, let me call this as equation 1. And x2 of k is equal to summation. So again I cannot write it in terms of n because I already used it this n, so I'll take one more variable which is m, is equal to 0 to n minus 1, x2 of m into e power minus j 2 pi by n into k into m. Let me call it as equation number 3. Fine. So what I'll do, I'll substitute equation 2 and equation 3 in equation 1. I mean to say, instead of writing x1 of k, I'll write this equation. Instead of writing x2 of k, I'll write this equation. That is what I'm going to do in the next step. Substituting equation 1 and equation 2 and equation 3 in equation 1, comma, we get so y of n is equal to 1 by n into summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1. We had x1 of k, but what is x1 of k? X1 of k is this equation. So I'll substitute that equation. Summation I varying from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of I e power minus j 2 pi by n into k into I into x2 of k, right? What is x2 of k? X2 of k is this equation. So it is summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1 x2 of m e power minus j 2 pi by n into k into m into what is the left out term? So this is the left out term, right? So this is equal to e power j 2 pi by n into k into n. So rearrange. I'm going to rearrange the order of summation. So y of n is equal to 1 by n into. So I'll write first this two term. I'll write it first. So summation I varying from 0 to n minus 1 x1 of I, and I'll write this next. So summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1 x2 of m. Now left out term is summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1. So I'm done with this. Now left out term is these three exponential, right? So this one and this one and this one. So I can take few terms common here. E power minus j 2 pi by n into, so k is there, so k is common. So these are the terms I get common. So what do I get inside the bracket? It is e power minus j 2 pi by n into k into I here. Next e power minus into minus plus minus j 2 pi by n into k into m, and here minus into minus plus. So what do I get here? Here it is n. Fine. So in the next step, the summation over k, in the sense this term, the summation over k is equal to n for I is equal to n minus m, and it is equal to 0 and is equal to 0 for all other values of I. So I repeat again, the last summation part is equal over the k, in the sense this summation is equal to n for I is equal to n minus m, and is equal to 0 for other values of I. So how did I end up with this statement? Let me convince you here. So what do we have? Summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1 e power minus j 2 pi by n into I plus m minus n into k, right? This is what we had. So and we are claiming that this is equal to n for I is equal to n minus m and equal to 0 for other values of I. So how is that? So we know the statement, right? Summation n varying from 0 to n minus 1 alpha power n is what? 1 minus alpha power capital N divided by 1 minus alpha for alpha not equal to 1 and equal to n for alpha equal to 1. So this statement we know, right? This is standard result. So in this case, I can write this as alpha power n form, right? Summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1 e power minus j 2 pi by n into I plus m minus n whole power k, right? Now I have written this equation in this form. So where what is alpha? Alpha is e power minus j 2 pi by n into I plus m minus n. Here, so alpha equal to 1 implies, so alpha equal to 1, for what value of I alpha becomes equal to 1. That is what I am trying to say. So if I put I is equal to plus n minus m, if I put I is equal to plus n minus m, what happens? So mm cancels out, nn cancels out, so this becomes 0. So e power 0 is 1. So alpha becomes equal to 1. So alpha equal to 1 is nothing but in I is equal to what? N minus m. So alpha not equal to 1 is nothing but what? I is for other values of I, where in the sense I is not equal to n minus m, this is not equal to 1. This won't go to 1. Okay. So therefore, so if I plug this statement here in this standard definition, what do I get? 1 minus alpha power n, right? So this is in terms of what? Summation k varying from, summation n varying from 0 to n minus 1 alpha power n. I'm writing right hand side of this equation, which is 1 minus alpha power capital N. But what is alpha? Alpha is this, e power minus j 2 pi by n into I plus m minus n divided by 1 minus alpha to the power n, and if I take that n inside, I'll get n. So divided by 1 minus alpha, so 1 minus e power minus j 2 pi by n into I plus m minus n, right? So 1 minus alpha power capital N divided by 1 minus alpha, where alpha, for alpha not equal to 1, right? Alpha not equal to 1 implies what? I not equal to n minus m, and equal to n and equal to n for alpha equal to 1, but what is for alpha equal to 1 implies I is equal to n minus m, right? Now here this n cancels out, e power minus j 2 pi into any integer, I, m, n all are integers, okay? So e power minus j 2 pi into any integer is always 1, so this term is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 by anything is 0, right? So this end up with 0 for I not equal to n minus m, and equal to n for I equal to n minus m, right? So this is what, so we are trying to say here, the summation over k, the summation over k, this statement is equal to n for what? I is equal to n minus m and is equal to 0 for all other values of I, right? Now we'll continue with the next step. So I'll replace I is equal to n minus m, okay? Why? Because I want to make this as n. When I is equal to n minus m, so this is n, right? So y of n is equal to 1 by n into summation I varying from 0 to n minus 1 x1 of I is what? N minus m into summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1 x2 of m into n. So now this summation does not make any sense, right? Because for I is equal to n minus m, so I am taking only one value of I, which is n minus m, okay? If I is just one value, then this summation does not make any sense, so I can ignore this, right? So what do I get? Y of n is equal to 1 by n into, so I'll rearrange it, summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1, I'll write it again, x1 of n minus m into, left out term is x2 of m into n. So these two n cancels out, and this is equal to what? Summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n minus m into x2 of m. So this is nothing but the equation for convolution sum. And how do I write this? I can write it as x1 of n point circularly convolved with x2 of n. So this convolution equation, in short, we can write it like this, right? So from where we started from y of k, which is equal to multiplication in frequency domain. And where did we end it? We ended with circular convolution in time domain, right? And that is what the statement says, convolution in time domain is equal to multiplication in frequency domain.